just took the plunge. I pushed record. So, it's Saturday. This is Kenneth Pereiro and Lindsay Glass. We're in a neighborhood right now. You guys don't know it, but we've been talking for hours and probably should have already recorded the show by now. But if nothing else, I guess we're warmed up and ready for more, ready to go. We just ate some good food, chilling with some birds, some Larry birds. Maybe you can hear the remnants.
It's a good basketball joke.
It's a basketball joke. It's timely since the Super Bowl's coming up.
Did he play football as well?
I don't think so. But I guess
he could have been a kicker. You know?
Yeah.
They're always skinny white men.
Was Larry Bird skinny? I guess he was skinny.
Yeah.
I actually don't
basketball.
Yeah, that's true. He's really tall and like skinny. Did he have like curly hair?
Yeah, I think he had like a brown like Jufro almost.
Jufro. I was gonna say that, but don't make people mad. Jufro.
Shall we?
I guess so. Yeah, we're gonna have to find a trash can sometime soon.
Well,
we are in a neighborhood.
These people don't look like they care about their backyard.
So I should just chuck it back there?
Yeah, totally.
I see that they have a garbage can behind the fence that we're at.
We need to see if they're home before that.
It's like
down.
That episode of Mad Men. Did you see that episode?
Which one?
The Don Draper family goes out for a picnic, and
when he like picks up the thing and he just leaves it there.
They just brush it off, and all the shit goes into the forest.
Yeah. I was watching. Have you seen that movie on Netflix called The One That I Love?
I think Erica just watched that.
Yeah. So there's this like. The first time they ever, I guess, met or went on a date, they snuck into this.
Is this the people in the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I just broke this bag.
Oops.
No, you do need to find it.
There goes the handle.
I think that I'm not getting this confused with another movie.
You think that you're not?
I think that I'm not, but I might be getting it. You would need to confirm with Erica.
Okay.
Because I was slightly... there was something wrong with my brain when I was watching that movie, but I don't remember what it was. But they snuck into a house that was like uninhabited, and went swimming in their pool. But then it turned out that someone was actually home, and they like came out and
weird. That's awkward.
Yeah, and like scared them away, and so their relationship starts to completely go downhill. And they try to recreate that to like get back the innocence of their long lost relationship.
Yeah.
And they go back to that same house and they think that there's somebody home. Like they're trying to get like the guy to come back out again. And there's no one home, and the guy's like, they're just like in the pool kind of like flopping around, and he's like, I swear I thought somebody was home, and they just like get up and like put their clothes on and begrudgingly go home.
Did they skinny dip both times?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh, that seems like a classic thing. So, this is called The One That I Love?
The One That I Love. It's where they end up going to like a retreat. They go to therapy, and their therapist. Sorry, I'm so burpy from that tuna.
Oh yeah.
Their therapist has this house, and he's like, you need to go there and like reclaim your love for one another. And then it turns out that there are like doubles of them living at the house, and
what a weird plot twist.
It's the weirdest thing ever. And then at the end, you have to like decide if they left with one another, like if they chose one another, or if. Because they couldn't distinguish between each other. Like, the men were completely the same and the women were completely the same. But they were, like, a better version. The people that were at the house were a better version of each of them. And so she was automatically more attracted to him because he was everything that she'd always wanted him to be. And vice versa. So, anyway, it was really weird. In the end, you have, like, reason to think that maybe... he had brought home the wrong woman.
Oh, really?
Like not his wife.
Well, were the people who were better than them willing to like downgrade? Yeah,
because they would have to stay. Well, they were like completely like secluded to that house. Like they were gonna have to stay there if they didn't get to leave. Like they were bound in that house.
That's a really weird plot.
Yeah, no, I tried to like read Wikipedia about it and figure it out afterwards, and I totally couldn't.
Wow.
It's just one of those things that will always be unresolved. like the ending of Sopranos or something.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that, but R.I.P.
Yeah. Tony.
Yeah. Let's walk that way.
Okay.
Do you mean to hold that bag or?
Well, I broke it, so I feel ownership over it now.
I know that feeling. That's how I feel about trash and why I won't be throwing my garbage into these people's yards.
Well,
Although I'm not
I
holding
don't
it, so
see.
just please, if you're gonna do anything, just drive like your kids live here.
That's such an ugly thing to put.
Those little signs.
Is this the only thing that we need to save?
Yeah, I think so. And even aren't those crackers individually wrapped so you could actually like take a sleeve out
That's
and put it in your
smart.
backpack?
Yeah.
We could try to get a lay of the land to see. I hear a whirring, like an electrical whirring, like maybe someone's vacuuming.
That could be in that bougie house right there, though.
Oh, I thought you said a different language word. A net bougie house.
I meant
of-
bourgeoisie.
In that bougie
House.
house. Yeah.
Oh, that might be them.
Wow, what a funny twist that would be.
No, it's not them.
Why are you
We do look
covetously looking at it?
Very suspicious, though.
Yeah.
Especially you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely look suspicious, but I also look like I'm purposefully trying to be like inconspicuous. So
Yeah.
maybe that
You
lowers.
always look that way, though.
Yeah, I do want to be seen, but only so I'm not hit.
I think that jacket takes care of that.
I
If
love
somebody
this
hit
jacket.
you, it would be on purpose.
I guess I haven't thought about ruling that one out. Jeez.
Which would be less comforting than the other. Okay, I'm gonna make a.
I think that they would forgive you because it's like I'll walk with you so that I can share the blame if they come out.
Okay. Which one of these is recycling?
The blue is recycling.
Okay. I think that the green should be recycling.
That makes more sense, but I think we're too far east and too far south for them to care about that. Trying to color coordinate our trash preferences.
Well, it's just an instinctual thing. Like you see green and you think recycling.
Yeah.
And so in that case, anybody who's like out in the park or whatever, if they have an option,
Yeah.
then they don't want to read anything. They don't want to read the side of the thing. Then they're
Yeah.
gonna put their trash in the blue and their recycling in the green.
I think that's how it is at IKEA too. I think the thing that says landfill is blue, or maybe it's black to show like the color of your soul if you decide
Of
to
death.
throw away.
Yeah.
This house does look unoccupied, and there's a porta potty, and that's Midtown, so we're close to the high. This house is like
there's
a
like
miniature house.
weird stuff in there. There's a
It's a
it's
child's
for a baby.
playroom.
I thought they
Are
just
these
had
small
tiny
people?
everything.
Yeah. Some people are into that stuff. Small appliances, small living.
I do like those tiny refrigerators, those Smeg. Have you ever seen those?
Smeg.
Smeg refrigerators.
It's a
They're
bad
like
name.
this tall, and they have the tiniest little freezer.
I think I've seen them. Are they like old fashioned? Mm-hmm. Okay, then yeah. Uh-huh.
And they're like all one color. They're really colorful, and then they say Smeg on them.
Smeg.
They sell them at West Dome.
Oh, okay, that sounds about right. Smeg, though, the only word I know that starts with smeg is smegma, so that's a bad marketing choice, I feel like.
Well, I think it was probably a precursor to smegma.
Yeah, well, it's probably
Or
also
not like
someone's name.
biologically, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think smegma's been around for a bit longer than smegma as
since
a
the beginning
name.
of time,
Humanity.
perhaps.
Her humanity. Yeah, these houses are swanky.
Yeah.
This sign that says the house is for sale looks expensive.
Well, yeah, but I think the marketing on that's kind of ridiculous. It looks like a faux 60s diner
Yeah, it does.
thing.
People should use more neon in their for sale signs.
I
Just
like
generally speaking.
just a nice, like Times New Roman sign.
I like it to say for sale by owner, and I like it to be in Comic Sans. And just like really shitty.
Pearls, MZ,
Yeah,
wingdings.
all the above, and sort of be faded because the house has been on the market for so long, and it's basically just because the sign is shitty and you can't even read the phone number properly.
My last paper that I wrote in grad school before I wrote my thesis, it was like the last thing that I ever had to do other than the deed. I just to mess with my professor, I put the entire thing in ransom note, that font on Word that is just like a bunch of cutouts of letters that looks like an actual ransom note, and I sent
that's
it to him.
hilarious. Yeah.
And then like the next day I sent him an actual readable copy of it.
That's
when
hilarious.
he emailed me and was like, "What?
You're fired.
You're fired from life."
Yeah. From life and definitely from grad school.
He appreciated the humor, though. I think.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good sense of humor is hard to find, especially a teacher-student relationship. Although for grad school, I bet it's different.
It is. There's a lot of drinking with your professors, I've found.
We're at a crux,
So this way is back to
indeed. Back
where
to the
we
park.
know.
Yeah.
But this neighborhood, let's just go that way.
Yeah, because we can keep moving in that direction.
Right.
But so we can go back towards the way we came from, but with new environment.
Truly.
I think we should. I'm trying to keep this, in my experience, podcasts that are just conversations walking. It's hard. I'm trying to give context because I don't want it to
yeah.
be too hard to follow. So if I say stuff repetitively or if I rephrase something you just said in a way that seems dumb.
You're not being a dick.
No.
Okay.
Although I probably am. So I'm just using it as an excuse.
You're not being a dick.
No, I'm not being a dick. Like that.
Well done. These houses are getting larger and larger as we go further into the neighborhood.
The drugs are kicking in. That's what it is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, they're starting to. We ate about 20 minutes ago, so yeah, that's how you know you're coming up. Houses start getting bigger, colors are brighter.
See, this is actually not even green. It just looks
What?
green.
What? Wow. Wow. Did you ever think that if you cut a person in half? Actually, never mind.
No, where are we going with that?
This is actually, I don't know if I purposefully did this, but this is a joke that I heard on a podcast, so I don't want to steal the joke.
Well, just reference it then.
Okay, I heard this podcast recently. They told this funny joke where they were being playful and stupid, and they said, like, they were wondering if they cut a person in half, if you could count the rings and see how old they were. So I was going to pretend that was my thought, since we're coming up on these drugs, and we're all woozy and psychedelic feeling. But then I remember that's not my joke.
Well, it's good that you were honest about it.
Well, you know, I like to think Paul F. Tompkins will one day be listening to these words, and I don't want him to think, like, oh, that's my joke, because I know it's his joke.
But I think that's a pretty common, like I heard something similar, but it was referencing the vagina. This like woman was at the OBGYN and
Yeah.
she lied about her age, and he was like, don't worry, I can count the rings.
That's hilarious. He's not a very good OBGYN if he knows that there's not supposed to be rings in there, though, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
Just warts. That's
Just
completely
warts.
normal.
Yeah, you count those. Those come on a cycle.
I recently, so when you first started to make the joke about cutting someone open,
Yeah.
I immediately thought murder.
Yeah, it
Because-
kind of sounded murderous.
Right. Which I've recently,
Decided to become a murderer?
no,
You are looking for a job, right? Oh,
I am,
There you go.
yeah, well,
Sorry to interrupt. That was a stupid joke.
I am looking for a job. But I have been watching a lot of like British crime drama.
Have you seen that one with Daniel Radcliffe? It's not really a crime drama, but they are British, and it's kind of dramatic. He's actually a doctor, so it's like, never mind.
Is
Obviously,
it, what is it called?
I don't know. Erica was watching it. It has John Hamm in it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I thought it looked stupid, but I would watch it, probably.
Oh yeah, that piece of shit? Yeah, I'll definitely watch that.
Well, at some point you like end up at the bottom of Netflix. And
You've watched all the
there's
good
nowhere
stuff.
to go but down.
I guess I'll watch Daniel Radcliffe and John Hamm pretend to be the same person.
John Hamm his face bothers me.
It's too attractive.
No.
Turns straight men gay.
It's like, he just looks like a pompous asshole.
I think that I agree, but listening to him on podcasts, he's actually really funny. And he's got a very not deprecating, because I mean, even if he deprecated himself, people would probably still be like, "Come on,
He
Sean."
deprecated himself.
Yeah. People probably wouldn't take him seriously because he's so successful and attractive.
Yeah.
So if he deprecated himself, he would be doing it to experience what ugly people, I guess, get to feel on a daily basis. So everyone would be mad. The Pregnancy Countdown book. 9 months of practical tips, useful something.
Oh, sorry.
Well, if I get pregnant, I know where to come for a book.
I hope there's a quiz in here that I can make you take.
How to know if you're pregnant.
Anyway, what I was saying earlier
Yeah.
before we got on John Hamm was that I've heard this is a really good book. I have been watching so much crime drama
Oh, yeah.
that now when I see like a piece of land or something that's kind of unoccupied,
Like that
I
one?
think about like how if that would be a good place to dump a body,
Yeah.
which is a very troubling thought.
As you drop all the books. I hear music.
This, I think, is at Barry, when you first start, they make you read a book.
Oh, really?
And I think this is one of the books that they...
One of the choices?
Well, no,
Or-
I think this is... Because they make all the freshmen read the same book. And then
Okay.
you have to talk about it.
It's like 1 year, it's like Mein Kampf. Next year, it's
Totally.
like some Stalin book. I wish I,
I
knew.
wish I... yeah, I know.
I wish I knew more dictators' books. That would have been a funnier joke.
But I think this is like 3 years after my first year.
Okay.
That's what they...
Yeah.
This is... Erica might like this.
Pencil, pen, and brush. Maybe.
It's a very
Wow, it's
old drawing
This is an
book.
old- What year is this copywritten?
That smells so good.
I bet this is from like 1965.
65, 61.
Are you giving
Closer
me a
to the
choice?
50s. It's 61.
No. That was someone.
This is awesome!
We just found a book with a drawing in it that looks like it's as old as the book. This is an old drawing book.
Is that the guy from Of Mice and Men? Doesn't
I
he
have
look like
absolutely
him?
no idea.
The one
maybe.
who squeezes the rabbits to death?
That's a movie?
It's a book and a movie.
I've never seen the movie or read the book. I don't know. But I'm going to say yes.
It looks, for the record, it's exactly the guy from Of Mice and Men who squeezes the rabbits till they're dead.
Those of you listening would agree.
This is amazing. This is an
That's
old
pretty
piece
crazy.
of paper.
That is a very
I'm
old
taking
piece
this.
of paper. I think you should. You have a book for it. Is that person's breast coming out? Is that a nipple?
I think that maybe you just have a perverted mind.
I definitely do, but sometimes it's corroborated by fact. Sometimes a nipple
So
is a
that's Degas,
nipple. Okay.
and this is Matisse. I didn't know that he did drawings like that of actual human beings.
I wouldn't even be able to pick out. I don't even know what. Does Matisse have like a famous piece that people are like, that's a Matisse? Does he have his own version of like the Mona Lisa or something?
No,
Okay. It just has a distinct style.
yeah.
Okay.
It was like late Impressionism, I think. French Impressionism.
Does it mean like a bunch of like abstract blobs that look like people from afar?
Yeah, not really abstract blobs per se, but like,
To the layman, perhaps.
yeah, like you would definitely think they were just abstract
I'm like,
blobs.
look at all these blobs. What's up with
Because you
this
have
guy?
no taste.
Yeah,
but-
that's true.
Ooh.
Barbie School Days. There's a lot of representation in this. Was she smoking a cigarette?
I wish she was smoking a cigarette. She's washing. She's
Kelly.
teaching her daughter proper maintenance.
Is that supposed to be her mom? That looks like her mom.
That's her mom. This has got to be her. This is
Stacy,
Stacy. So
okay,
this is
that's
her
her
older
sister.
sister,
Yeah.
and this is Kelly. They look even more. What's the word? Aryan than they do like in doll form.
Yeah, the drawings definitely do.
All right.
All right. This is the little library on Cumberland. I want to say it's Cumberland Street, but it could be Cumberland Place. Just drive around, you'll find
It's
it.
a good one.
It's a good one. It's got some classics.
These people have obviously very learned libraries.
Yeah, it's like going to thrift stores in richer areas. You know,
Yeah.
the better, got the better stuff.
They always have like Lacoste polos.
Yeah. Definitely, it's the difference between generic Walmart, Adidas, and like you said, Lacoste shoes or glasses.
See, that's a great place to dump a body.
Yeah, I mean, of the limited choices you have in the city, this is definitely not bad because it probably wouldn't be found for probably a couple weeks, but it would definitely be found.
Yeah.
The smell. The animals would, you have animals congregating, it would look strange. Someone would eventually go over there with their dog or something and be like, oh my God. Now, in the interim of time, would enough evidence have decayed as well for it to be, again, a good place?
I think so.
Yeah, fingerprints.
I think the wild animals congregating and eating the body would definitely be helpful.
It would definitely be helpful. Like, I think that one of the best ways I've ever heard about disposing of bodies is feeding it to, if you're a farmer, if you have pigs, you just feed it to the pigs.
Oh, yeah.
And then the only thing that isn't digestible, I think, is the teeth. Which, those actually...
Which I would keep as, like,
necklace.
Trophies anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is this a park?
We ate on a sewer and we could have eaten in a park. There's like a paintball set up over here. We've got like, I wonder, do you think those look like panels of stone?
They do,
Like
indeed.
granite. But
Yeah.
that seems like that would be very expensive and
That person knows.
he's stealing them.
He's carrying them on his head.
I think that's called theft.
He's sweating. His underarms are really wet.
Oh, that's always how it is though with him. He's just always a sweaty guy.
Have you ever sweat through a shirt?
Yeah.
Completely?
You mean like the
Like
whole
with-
shirt is a different color because it's sweaty?
No,
or?
but like had the different, like the circles underneath your arms.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. And when I go on my break during the summer, every time I go back home to let Charlie out, I come back and I'm dripping in sweat, and I just tell my coworkers
Dripping
to
in
deal with it.
Is that, did people said stuff to you
No, they
about
haven't.
it? You just are really bluntly like, deal with it.
I just like stretch out and let my armpits dry and just waft around.
You know, I've heard that makes a man more sexually attractive. Is
I read
if
that in there was a very reputable magazine that said the same.
I think that was Men's Health.
Men's Health, current edition. You can find it on stands near you.
There's a very built African American man on the
Yeah.
cover.
Who honestly has given me some gay vibes.
Really?
A little bit.
I think maybe everyone gives you gay vibes.
Yeah, and he kept like looking me in the eye too. I was just trying to read the title.
That
and
eye
it's-
contact.
Yeah.
That's one thing that does increase intimacy is eye contact.
I'm gonna have to start looking more on the floor.
Yeah.
Stop making so much eye contact. I know it definitely helps to get homeless people to ask you for change when you make eye contact with them.
I was chased by a homeless person the other day. I was so okay, so this is what happened.
Okay.
We went out to eat,
Who is we?
me and Viraj.
Okay.
And
So you're not alone.
I'm not alone. But we were carrying leftovers home,
Okay.
and we had walked out of the restaurant. I'm not going to tell you which restaurant because it's like the
I
most
appreciate it.
embarrassing thing ever.
I eat out a lot, so I don't want to have my selection marred by this bad
Yeah,
experience.
I'm not gonna. I mean, you would never go here in a million years. Anyway,
Okay, so it's Taco Bell.
so we were leaving, and I guess it was right by a MARTA station or something. But there was this
Hey.
couple. Was that eye contact?
Not purposeful. I'm too new at this. I still make eye contact, but I'm trying to do better.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that was eye contact, and that was why they elicited such a powerful hey. Kind of shook me a little bit.
I mean, that was definitely gay vibes as well.
That was because it was, and I have recovered from it.
I'm all the better for it.
Yeah, I took the road less traveled. So, you have your
okay.
leftovers.
So carrying out the leftovers,
Yeah.
and this dude
Wow,
sitting on
this
this bench. You like this one?
I don't like it, but it's. I mean, I don't dislike it. This house, but
Good. I was gonna judge you for liking that.
I don't care. I'm impervious to that.
To my
house,
judgment?
Well, to people judging me on my house preference. I mean, of course it's bad.
I feel like you should probably care more about what I think about your house judgment.
Duly noted.
If you could work that into your schedule.
Yeah, that's what I'll ponder over all next week.
Look at this.
This cactus.
It looks like a dinosaur's
It
body.
does. This is a huge, thick cactus. Definitely not one that would be able to fit inside the house. This is monstrous. Like this is a thriving cactus.
Do you think it's healthy?
It's healthy enough to still be alive. I wouldn't think this would be like the preferred environment. Hello.
Hi. How old are these cactuses? Do
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, we've had them. They grow pretty quickly, but probably like 10 years.
Wow.
It got this big in 10 years?
Oh, it gets really big quickly. Cause see, there's one in a pot there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can always, anytime you want one, rip off a leaf and you just put it in the pot and it'll grow big.
Oh
That's
my
awesome.
gosh, thank you.
Well, if only every question was answered immediately by the expert, that would be awesome.
That was really cool.
That was.
I like people who know a lot about plants.
Yeah. I've got some friends who know a lot about one plant. Where they can
I
buy
don't
it,
know
how
what
much
you're
it,
referencing.
where they can buy it, how much it costs per, specific quantity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
You would probably be friends with them, considering you just said that was a criteria that you like about people. You'd have at least a 5-minute in-depth conversation revolving around one plant. Anyway, I'm curious about the story.
Yeah.
It's just tangents.
You're so
Tangents galore.
interrupty today.
I'm always interrupty.
So he asked, it was a man and a woman, as far as I could tell.
Interesting.
Not that that's important, but
Well, sets the scene.
yeah, so obviously homeless,
Right.
just chilling on a bench.
Right.
We walk out, and I'm already feeling like a little bit weird.
Okay.
Not for any specific reason other than I've been watching Masters of Sex. And
Okay.
in the second season, it's, so Dr. Masters
Oh. Okay.
has this, no, yeah, it's nothing like,
It's not
it's
sexual.
a show on Showtime.
Okay.
But he
not-
has this wife who
Okay.
has this really weird and awkward relationship with her black housekeeper.
Okay.
And so I'm like feeling like overly sensitive about just like my relationship to other people at this point. And so this guy is like, hey, do you have any money?
Right.
And I said no, because I don't carry cash.
Who does these days?
And I don't think that he like takes like
Do you take
the
debit?
swipe card.
Can we go this way?
Yeah.
Okay. That's hilarious. Next time someone asks me, I'm going to try to be brave enough to say, do you take debit?
So
Right.
he says, I say no, and Viraj says no because he doesn't have any cash.
Right.
And we keep walking, and then he gets up and like runs at us.
Wow.
And I hate that I did this, but I turned around and I was like, what are you doing? I was like so,
Wow.
I don't think I was afraid. I was just like
I would have been afraid.
kind of shocked.
I would have been
And I
shocked
also
and
thought it was
afraid.
a really like bold thing to do because, you can carry a concealed weapon in Georgia. Like
That's true.
one of us could have had a weapon and like
Right.
felt affronted.
Yeah. You would have justifiably been able to kill that person without a doubt.
Totally, especially in Florida, I would have gotten off scot-free.
Yeah, they would have let you go that night.
But
These old trees.
so these are nice.
Yeah. These are probably
That
older
looked
than-
like it hurt.
Yeah. Still doing all right. It's crazy too. This limb, it's like a miniature tree is growing out of it. It looks like it's almost independent of the larger tree.
I agree with you on that.
Thank you.
So, and then he like kind of like recoiled. I was like, "What are you doing?" I said it exactly like that. I don't even know where the voice came from, out of my body.
Yeah.
And then he recoiled and was like, "I just wanted to know if I could have your leftovers." Like he said it in like the tiniest little, like afraid
Wow.
voice.
Wow.
And so then, like, Viraj, like, pried the leftovers out of my hands. I was still completely in shock that I had yelled at this person that
How loud did you
I
yell at
didn't
them?
know.
Like very loudly?
it was pretty loud. It wasn't, like, super loud, but it
like,
was,
those people behind us would
yeah, they would
be able to
totally
hear
hear
us?
it.
Okay.
And so Viraj took the leftovers out of my, like, grippy little hands
Yeah.
and gave them to him. I still feel like an asshole about it.
I wouldn't feel like an asshole. Like you said, you could have killed that guy.
So it's kind that I did not kill him.
Yeah, you took pity. And I wonder if you hit some kind of like note when you said like, what are you doing? Like maybe he heard the voice of his mother or something, Or like he realized he was maybe not hurting a woman, but like maybe, I don't know. I wonder what you hit. If he had bad intention, then he seemed to like suddenly snap and then like just kind of be sad. I don't know. I have never actually been bothered by a homeless person, thankfully. Like, because I'm usually just passing through pretty quickly.
Yeah, on your bicycle.
Yeah. Sometimes on walks, I guess it bothered me, but I don't know. I think I used to be a lot more sympathetic when I first moved here. Like, I remember giving a homeless person $20 once.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. It was Christmas time, and like I usually will actually use my birthday money that I get from relatives to buy people presents for Christmas. So I had like a lot of money, and that was like the first time I had ever started drinking as well. So I was buying like a lot of alcohol, like 30 packs of PBR like every few nights or something. Not just for me, for my friends. My friends who got me into drinking, I wanted to get drunk with them.
Well, that's
again.
Obviously why they got you into drinking.
It's like Kenneth's got money. Let's get him hooked on this stuff.
He's easy with his money.
Yeah. So
Loose and easy.
yeah, I just felt like I was pretty happy in my life at that point. It's been a long time since then. And so I just wanted to kind of like spread the wealth.
Yeah.
And I vetted the homeless person. Like I wasn't just going to give like some crazy dude in little 5 points with like, calcified eyes. Who's like talking to himself and like it sounds like a different language he's speaking.
Did you say you vetted him?
I vetted him. Yeah.
That's okay. But okay.
I think, can I quickly?
Yeah.
I think that people who have gas-powered lights like this that are just like cosmetic, I feel like it's like burning money. It's just a symbol of wealth.
It's exactly what's happening is that they're just spending money on something that they'd never see. There's one up there too.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And it's really cool how it's like actually got a specific shape. It almost looks like a leaf. This
Yeah, like a one of those Canadian leaves.
Yeah, the maple.
The maple leaf. This is a nice house.
It is a nice house.
I think this is a little extravagant though for this house.
They had to run a gas line all the way to this part of the driveway just so they could
Had
do
to
that.
bust up their driveway.
What if a tree falls, which will inevitably happen in this kind of a
There's a
neighborhood?
gas fire.
Yeah, the whole neighborhood goes up in smoke.
What if somebody just smashes it with a baseball bat?
It's causing a single spark that ignites the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan actually said once that he was watching this video on YouTube where like a gas line break just in a residential house built up so much that it like almost took out an entire block when it finally exploded. Like there's some YouTube video. I never saw it. I don't watch a lot of the videos that they talk about on there, just because I'm usually listening to it.
Right.
Gas is dangerous. I think, if anything, if you can walk away from this show with anything, it's just like the knowledge that gas is flammable and it's dangerous. And you have to respect that.
And you should vet all homeless people.
Yeah, you should have an application process. You should get to know them, like what their hobbies are, what diseases they might carry.
I have a story, another story about homeless people.
Okay.
This is probably one of the few times that I felt my heart was truly broken by another human being.
Wow.
So I was out in Athens. I was still living there, and I was drinking.
Okay.
At this place called the Manhattan.
Okay.
Which is a really cool.
So like a Sex and the City themed kind of like.
Totally, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it's this place. You're about to feel like an asshole. That it was like. One of the few integrated bars in Athens.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like an asshole. It's setting in.
Back in the 50s and 60s.
Okay.
There are like velvet paintings of JFK and MLKJ and all the other
MLKJ. Oh, Junior.
LBJ
yes. LBJ. RN.
I already said JFK, RN, IDK,
FDR. OMG.
FML,
Yeah.
BRB.
Best president. BRB.
BRB. BO, which also stands for Barack Obama.
Oh, okay. I'm glad
Body
you were
odor
making-
and Barack
okay.
Obama.
I thought you were making a very mature reference, but I'm glad to hear that it's classy.
So
Presidential.
I was there, and
Okay.
I was a little bit inebriated,
Just a bit.
just a bit. That's a nice church.
Yeah. For a second, I thought it might be a house. It wouldn't be that far-fetched in this area.
A little.
Actually, that would be pretty far-fetched.
That would be a huge
It's a
chimney.
huge cross.
If that-
Yeah.
This house is for sale. It's nice.
I bet the houses in here, I bet the average, a low house in here would be $300,000. That would be a shitty house in here, probably.
These houses have to cost like $1 million.
Yeah, at least.
Anyway, so I was, hanging out and drinking, and this guy came up to me. I was with my friend Ryan and probably a couple other people.
Are homeless people, can I ask, as prevalent in Athens as they are in Atlanta?
No.
Okay.
But there are a good number for such a small town.
Right.
Like, there's absolutely no reason there should be homeless people in Athens.
The only thing I would think of would be they might have train hopped to get there. Like, jumped on from Atlanta. And then I know the trains go to Athens, but
Yeah.
otherwise it seems like that's an arduous trip. That's like 100 miles of desolation before you get there. Anyway.
So this guy came up and he was with this pregnant woman.
Oh, no.
And he said, hey, this is my sister-in-law.
Uh-huh.
Me and my wife and her were driving in our car, and it broke down,
Classic story.
and we don't have any money to get gas. She's pregnant. We don't really know where we're sleeping tonight.
Was she visibly pregnant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or either she just, like, had a weird way of, like, carrying her weight, I guess.
Here's all her weight in her stomach.
Like, her legs are, like, completely skinny, and
Yeah.
she's... So I turned around, and I was, like, talking to him, and it was just, like, being probably a little bit too conversational for his liking.
Okay.
Because I was drunk, but
Oh, yeah, yeah. This is
we talked a little bit. He was like, I was like, man, that's really tough. And he was like, yeah, like, I just got out of the military, like, earlier this year. I kind of, like, fucked up from that. Whatever. I ended up, like, chilling out with him for a while. Like, bought him a drink.
Wow.
Gave him some smokes. We hung out for a little while. And
Meanwhile, his
I
pregnant
gave him-
sister-in-law is like miserably waiting.
she was just, like, standing there. I think she had a cell phone or something.
Okay.
So,
So these people, they were homeless though?
well, I don't know.
Okay.
The story continues.
Oh, wow.
So and then I gave him like $7 or something.
It's a fair amount.
No sweat off my back. Like,
Right.
at that point, because I had student loan money, and I was like a big spender.
Right.
But the next night, I'm at Normal Bar,
Okay.
which is like not downtown. The Manhattan was downtown. I was at Normal Bar, which is in a completely different neighborhood than downtown.
Is it actually called Normal Bar? Or is
Yeah.
It? Okay.
Yeah,
Just want to make
it's
sure.
also my normal bar.
Right. It's your usual.
Yeah, it's my
Okay.
usual hang.
Okay.
And I go inside to get a beer, and I'm like talking to people. I'm in such a good mood, and I come out the back because there's a patio. You can just hang out back there.
Uh-huh.
And I come out, and I hear him saying, I see this guy, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I know him.
Uh-huh.
And then he's saying to someone, this is my, like, whatever, our car just broke down. And I was just like,
Oh, I see the heartbreak then.
he looked up at me and like, recognized me, and I was like, you lied to me.
Yeah.
I was so hurt because I thought that we shared something. Like, we, like, had a drink.
Shared a drink.
We had cigarettes.
Right.
You know, we talked about the military,
Yeah, the military.
the militarization of lots of things.
Should we turn around?
Is this the end of it?
Well, I think this is I don't mean to put another break on the story, but if we're going to be walking back towards where we need to go ultimately, we need
Yeah.
to either take a hard right here and then work our way back, or we should go back this way
Okay.
and then take the first left.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to...
Anyway,
Okay.
That's
yeah.
the end of the story.
Wow.
That was a really long. Sorry.
I've actually had a similar thing with a homeless person. Some homeless guy, similar thing. He was like just out of the military, not well discharged or something, dishonorably discharged, and he. I think I might have given him some money so he could find a place to stay that night because he pulled that card as well. And he said all his stuff had just been stolen. He said that from the shelter, all of his belongings were stolen.
Which
by
is
other
like,
people.
I mean, it's totally like
It
a
could be.
possible thing.
Oh yeah, totally. It's reasonable, and even if it's
Reasonable,
not,
yes.
I feel bad for him just because no matter what, at the end of the day, he's still a homeless guy.
Mm-hmm.
But then I heard Erica tell me a few days later that she was encountered by this tall, white, homeless man who had the exact same story, like to the letter. And so it was just like, wow, well, like when homeless people tell me their stories, I'd honestly, and this is sort of cliche at this point, but I would rather just hear the truth. Like, if they're trying to get beer or if they're trying to go to the shelter,
Get some H.
get some H, get some J,
Get some C.
get some C,
Get some
some
W.
M, some W,
Some W.
get some George W. Bush merchandise. I don't care what they're going to do with the money. If I've given them money, then whatever they decide to do with it is their choice. But
Right.
I don't know. It's just like, it's weird. I guess you have to lie in order to get it. 'Cause you have to convince them.
I don't think so, because I think young people like ourselves would, I mean, maybe like not to our parents or people who are a little bit more maybe like by the book.
Yeah.
But I think to someone like you or me, if somebody's like, hey, I actually do sleep outside every night, I really want some beer, I would want beer too if I slept outside every night.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a logical request.
Yeah.
You know, like, if I have money, and you would recognize that for the truth. No one's gonna. I saw a guy
Right.
one time holding a sign that was like, I just want a 12-pack or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is completely respectable because he's not pulling out like all the bullshit
Right.
sob stories, which are things that actually do happen to people.
Right.
That are terrible and should never happen to anyone.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more honorable.
Yeah.
But I also understand why someone would lie about it, because we are such like a judgment-oriented society where you think, even if you don't like necessarily like actively practice this belief, it's kind of bred into us that if someone is on that hard of a time,
Yeah.
that they did something to deserve that
Right.
in one way or another.
Right.
Like they are inherently at fault
Right.
in a lot of, you know, like it's just kind of in our thinking. And
That's true.
I think that I've had like terrible fights with people. One in particular, this guy was saying that people who receive like government assistance
Yeah.
should be forced to do specific things with that money.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they
Drug
shouldn't-
tests and-
Yeah, well, he was saying that this guy had told him that he couldn't afford a meal. He wasn't a homeless guy, but he was like, hey, I can't afford dinner tonight. Like, I just paid my cell phone bill and my TV bill.
Right.
And he was so pissed. He was like, that's fucked up that guy spent, like, he obviously doesn't have a lot of money. He spent that money on those things.
Luxuries. Yeah.
But, like, what right do we have to judge that?
Right.
Because it's so ridiculous that we would ever even think of ourselves, like, highly enough that we would get to determine what
Right.
are and are not luxuries for people. Especially when you think about, like, I'm ranting, but you think about the things that keep children inside and off the streets.
Yeah.
I mean, that's television. Like, if your
be.
grandpa has a television
Yeah.
and you go home and watch television every day instead of, like, hanging out on the corner, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So maybe in his mind, that's not a luxury. It's something that is essential. Maybe, I mean, you can't get a job without a phone number. You
That's
know?
true. Yeah, that'd be hard.
It's just, I think that we are so, like, kind of quick to maybe lay blame for circumstances that are usually just out of a person's control. And most people are just trying to do the best they can.
Yeah. I think that's probably true. I guess it would be interesting to try to make that argument that maybe the TV and the phone bill have some like grander role to play in this person's life. Because I was going to initially ask you, like, do you think that we are more judgy, our society, Americans, than others? But you are right, though, that we do think that since we're such like a cause and effect society and so like scientific in our perspective, I guess, like at some point we do believe, even if it's just tacitly as a society, that you did make some choice along the way.
Right.
And you have choice, you have freedom of choice. So if you chose the wrong thing and you fucked up your own life, then you have to take responsibility, and no one should feel obligated to help you out of that. and you shouldn't put that on other people because that was your choice. But I think that is uniquely American. And I think it's because we're so diverse too. Like America has like 350 million people of all types. So it's like it's rare that you see someone who maybe looks like you when they're asking. So you already have that first level of disconnect, and then you're already also skeptical that they're lying to you.
Yeah.
So it's like they've got everything working against them. Because like in Japan and all those countries that are more homogeneous, so I feel like, I don't know, poverty and I don't know what the disparity of wealth is like in Japan, but I imagine that it's a very different situation with their homeless population.
Well, I think it's probably more, it's more like urban rural. I think there's a really huge poor rural population.
In Japan?
And those are the people, yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, the majority of the country is rural. What a weird place for them to ride.
This is sort of a thoroughfare, I think, this road, if I'm using that word correctly, between Highland and Monroe. But yeah, it's a strange choice. It's a weird thing to be into in general, motorcycles. Like I guess it's just a passion. But
Do you not understand the allure?
I do. But
Would you ever have a motorcycle?
I wouldn't. I don't think so. I don't want to pay for insurance and stuff.
But, okay, but all of that is, okay, would you ride a motorcycle if it were completely free? You could pick out any kind you wanted.
I would still prefer to do my bike. If I'm still allowed to make that determination and preference, I would still prefer my bike, even in an ideal world where a motorcycle is as free, although I still have to pay for gas, I guess, as a bicycle. But I would still prefer the bike.
Interesting. I mean, it's not actually, I totally...
Correction, not interesting.
Correction, completely boring. No, but I had a feeling...
I guess this is the first left.
Yeah.
All right.
I had a feeling that you would always want your bicycle.
I always want my bicycle. I do.
She is your lady.
Yeah, the second.
Your main bitch.
The main bitch.
I guess she's the second. She's the second bitch.
I sit on her lap.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, help.
Oh, Lord, hell. Oh, Lord of hell. This is like a somewhat surreal neighborhood. Everything is very well manicured.
Yeah. I almost wonder if you have to pay a homeowner's
Oh, I'm sure something.
fee here
Yeah,
or
why not?
something. Which you shouldn't have to because it's not gated. But it's likely.
Could be. Why not?
Or there are rules about how your house has to look.
Yeah, how tall your grass can be. I definitely have not seen one derelict house in this entire neighborhood, which is a rarity considering I think we have like one of the highest proportions of like unoccupied homes in the United States, or at least in the Southeast for sure. Detroit might have us beat though.
I would say Detroit has everyone beat in the worst possible way.
Yeah, way to go, Detroit.
There's some cool things happening in Detroit, though.
I have heard that, and I feel like Atlanta is kind of riding on that same spirit of like renewal and revival.
Yeah,
Especially,
Atlanta.
yeah.
Yule
But-
Boulevard, the boat line.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
That's a happy dog. He hated us from afar.
flouncy ears. Can't take it seriously.
No, just tell him to shut up. Go back to eating a bone.
Do your parents do they live in a place where they have to keep their house looking a specific way?
They definitely do.
Hello.
They definitely have a homeowners association. I don't think the rules are that strict, but I think that they do have to. I know they have to pay like an annual fee, and I think part of that whole setup is that there are expectations as well. Yeah, but they abide.
I think of all of the social controls that we exert upon one another,
Yeah.
that is by far the dumbest one.
It's up there.
It's so terrible.
Yeah.
It makes me... I've gotten, like, physically angry about homeowners associations before.
Yeah,
Because it's so exclusionary.
it is.
I mean, you're paying a mortgage.
I love these swoop frames, these A-framed houses.
This is a nice sunroom.
That looks like it's aftermarket.
That's about a Kenneth-sized house right there.
Hopefully. One floor, one room, one love.
There's a nice, it looks like they have maybe like a little attic
Outdoor.
space.
Oh, yeah, perhaps some storage up there for where you keep the kids.
Maybe even,
Small windows,
yeah,
miniature children.
miniature children, or perhaps like a nice little reading nook. I doubt they have kids.
I wouldn't use it as a reading nook. Which
I
may
wanted
be,
to,
yeah.
yes, good flow. Okay, so you don't read
That's correct. Although my
as
job,
a general rule.
as a general rule, I know that I have had a successful, enjoyable, and productive day.
Shitty house. We found it.
Yeah, maybe they're just holding out to sell it. Oh, actually, they're all kind of degrading at this point. Not on that side of the road, but it's getting creepy out here. It's like
It is.
Like a Walt
I feel
Disney.
like it's like unexpectedly dark right now. It seems like it's getting dark, but it's only
yeah, something like 4
4:30.
o'clock. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's like 4:30 almost exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I don't make a habit of reading,
so.
but I do it. I do it though. I mean, my
You
job.
do it?
I do it. I do it. Yeah.
You do it. You do it.
I do it. Oh my God. I was hoping so much for a porta potty.
Do you need to go to the bathroom?
I have to pee. I love it. I love it when I have to pee and I'm out and I'm like, God damn it, there is no way I'm going to be able to resolve this. And then, just by the grace of God, although if there's someone who's there, I can't use it because then that's kind of awkward.
Jesus provided this to us.
Thank you, Kanye.
We
Jinx.
keep saying, yeah. I am really curious about why you don't read.
Well, I think that we should explore this, but I think I'm going to put this on pause real quick so that I can venture over to that porta potty and
Okay.
use it to its fullest.
That sounds
And then we'll
fun.
get back to it.
Okay.
All right. Weekend review.
This is nice. It is totally not weekend review. That must be a habit.
Oh, it is. But I was actually just doing it to see if you would get mad.
I did a little bit.
Equus. What kind of car is this? I have never seen this. Equus.
It must be like German or something.
Huh.
Do you think it's going okay?
The show?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still recording.
Oh.
We'll discuss that off camera.
I'm glad I didn't say something very revealing about myself.
I think I'm a man.
You've been listening to
A production of
The Podcast Empire. Spread the word.